In the last 12 months or so, brim fishing on lures has absolutely exploded in WA, and Ira Felberg, the director of the WA Brim Tournaments and our magazine editor, has brought me here to the Murray River in Mandurah, and this is a brim hotspot, mate.
It's a great little spot, and there's a lot of fish in here. Very underrated spot, and Jeff Spadaccini brought me down here a few weeks ago, and I can tell you there's a lot of good fish in here.
There is some great brim in the Murray River. We're going to show you how to do it on lures, so let's fire it up, mate. We'll get started, throw some lures about in the snags.
No worries.
The Murray starts all the way back in Boddington and works its way through to Pinjarra, finally ending up feeding the Peel Inlet in Mandurah. Ira's caught brim all the way back to the weir where the water's almost fresh, but we thought we'd start today right near the mouth, which is quite salty and tidal. Now, the great thing about brimming, apart from these fantastic surroundings, is you don't have to spend a fortune to do it, but Ira, you do have to get the right gear.
Definitely, Steve. And I always say there's about 10 things you need to be doing right to catch brim on lures. And unfortunately, if you're doing one of them wrong, you won't catch them.
Getting the right rod and reel is also important. Nice light rod, a small reel for casting small lures. And Ira, what kind of line you use?
I've gone for 4-pound fire line, Steve. The reason we use fire line is because it's no stretch, gives us really good contact with the fish, and you'll feel every bump and tap the fish gives you. I've gone down to a Berkeley Vanish leader. We're fishing pretty heavy timber here today, so I've gone 10-pound, and the reason we use Vanish is obviously so the fish can't see it. Okay, and lure choice, that's very important as well. Have a look at these. Now, Ira, you've got just about every colour here under the sun. Today it's pretty bright, a nice gold colour like this River to Sea shed. Yep, definitely, and these have been working really well for me lately, and I reckon it's a bit of a confidence thing with brim on lures, and if you've been getting fish on them, yeah.
All right, we'll start with this colour. You've got, oh gee, look, more toys here to play with than I care to think about. We'll start with these.
I'll grab one of those as well.
All right, we'll see how we go. Now mate, there's a lot of myths about brim fishing with lures. One is that it's hard, impossible, but you're a tree of just like, you're just whining it. You're not even working the rod tip. Oh, had a hit, straight away. Straight away.
There'll be a few here.
So what do? Just let it, you find out, letting it go stationary after that?
Yeah, when I get the initial hit, just a little pause and then just slowly keep it moving. And usually if they're pretty aggressive, once you start moving it again, he'll come back. Bang,
Right
bang,
in there,
bang.
mate, right in there.
There's a bit of cover there, see that little weed thing?
I got it, yeah.
This is the other thing as well, Steve. Don't ignore reed banks like this. You know, there might not be any visible structure. We might not be able to see it, but under the water there'll be plenty of stuff and the fish will be up here.
Look at that, Ira.
He's only a little one.
He was right. He said the snag was going to produce. And it's not fighting hard because it's not a very big fish. But look at that. It's not much bigger than him.
But look at that, Steve. 12 months ago, they said that fish wouldn't take 6-centimetre long lures, and look how small that brim is.
Ultra aggressive. And the River to Sea hooks are so sharp, he had no chance whatsoever. So we're going to be real careful with this little fella. How old do you reckon, Ira? A fish of this size? Nowhere near size.
He'd be a couple of years old.
Brilliant. Aren't they pretty here in the Murray River? They're a gorgeous fish.
Well, at least we know there's a few here.
I reckon there'll be some more on that snag, mate. Look at that. Fantastic. Mate, we moved on from that snag pretty quickly. Do you find you can pull a lot of fish off one snag?
Yeah. I mean, if we're socially fishing, we'd probably hang around for a while, but I just prefer to cover ground, you know?
The guys in the tournaments really move quickly from spot to spot, don't they?
Yeah.
But then again, Kurt, he won the Perth round, or he got second or third in the Perth round by sitting at the Narrows Bridge all day.
Yeah. I mean, in a tournament, if you're catching fish, I'd stay back on that snag there, for sure. But we're just socially fishing, and that was only a little fish, so usually the little fish are just together. So hopefully we want a couple of big ones, so...
And the rules are, there are no rules in brim fishing, you've learnt.
That's it, yeah. Oh, got him, Steve.
Oh, mate, I told you there was a brim in there.
You called it, Steve.
Because he came up and he sucked my lure in, and then, of course, me being the skillful angler I am, put my lure in the tree, so I tethered us in place.
That's the latest in brim headwear.
I'll get you a pair of pliers. There you go.
He must have been sitting up in there.
Mate, he cracked my lure, and we didn't quite get him.
Because, you see that Daiichi?
Yeah, just straight in too. Mate, he was hungry, I know he wanted it, and these hooks have got you too now, mate. Pop him back in. Once again, not legal, but gee, there's some fish in there. Now how about this, Ira, for a spot to fish for bream? We've got the river meeting here in two places. We've got cover, we've got structure,
Yep.
and the bank's important too, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they'll be right up there in the shallow bank, but the important thing here is we're next to deep water, like you said, where this creek ran in, and we're sitting in about 3 metres of here, and they'll be coming up from that deep water up onto the shallows looking for a bit of a food.
There's got to be fish in here. Mate.
I think he's a bit better, Steve.
Well, either that or he's got him sideways again.
No,
I'll
he's
get my
better,
lure in,
he's
I'll get your
better
net
fish.
for you. Ooh, bit of a run. Ira might have come up with the fish of the day so far here.
His size.
Yeah.
Now, the best thing to do, Steve, when you've got a bream like this, don't panic. Just let him do what he wants to do. He's well hooked.
Oh yeah, he wants to go off still. Look at that, look at the boils, the power of that tail. Oh, nice fish, mate. Net under the fish. Gently lift.
That's what we came down here for.
Beautiful. That is just fantastic. And these enviro nets are the best thing to use when you're fishing with bream because you're not going to do any damage to the fish, and I'll pop him out of that net and the hooks won't catch in the net. Fantastic. Look at that. A Murray River black bream.
Look at the colours.
Oh, beautiful
Awesome
purple
fish.
glow.
Look at the green here.
That is just fantastic. Well, that's what you got him on, mate.
Yeah, little firefin laser pro.
Oh, 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 oh. That's what's called the juggle release.
Nice release, mate. That was better fish.
Oh, I wore that too. Whoa!
This is a good fish, Steve. Oh, he's got me around something.
Have a look at this.
He's got me around that snag.
Okay.
Steve, you drive. Oh.
Oh, he's panicked and he's lost it. Let's done him, and that's why big bream are so much fun, because they're unstoppable.
He took that on the surface.
I hope you got another one of those lures, mate.
Oh, look at that. He had me around that. Smoked. I saw him take that, Steve.
Oh yeah, bit of visual. I got him out in the open water. Now, here is the key, don't panic. I've walked all the way around. Just let the rod do the action. I'm not gonna let him run at that snag because Ira just got absolutely burned on the same spot. And this is his mate, and he's going for it. He's going for it.
Steve, that's
I got him under control, mate. Got him under control.
That's a nice fish.
Now don't panic here, don't panic. He's gonna see that net and he's gonna go. We've got him right up. Look at that. He'd be a kilo, I reckon.
Oh, no, not quite.
No, not quite.
That's a nice fish, man.
That's the biggest one I've ever caught on a hard body.
I reckon we'll get some stills of that, Steve. What do you reckon?
Look at that, unbelievable. We'll take a few snaps and then we'll pop him back. We've got our snaps, we're gonna pop him back. There's the lure again, it's that river to sea shed. And boy, look at that. Right in the corner of the mouth, he's even bent that hook. And whereas one before actually bit me with sharp teeth, he's got crushing plates for teeth. If we can just get a quick look in there. Fantastic, look at that. They're very durable fish in Ira. Age?
I reckon that fish would probably be nearly 10 years old, Steve.
Wow. Let him get his bearings. And we notice now that we're right over the other side of the river because we're going to go back into that snag and try and pull another one. Oh, now that's the third fish on the same snag. So I've talked to you about this before. Will the same fish come off the same snag? And there you go. 3 casts, mate. 3 casts, 3 bream, and he's going a beauty.
I think I'll put the electric, take us out in the river. He wants to go back into those snags.
He does, doesn't he? But he's, once again, like mine, he made the mistake of heading away from the snags, and now don't give him any space.
Just come to the boat nice and easy.
It's about identical in size to the one I landed to. Look at that.
That's another good Murray River bream.
He won't see that net until it's too late. Fantastic, mate. Mate, those hooks were right in there. Another fantastic fish. You've got to be happy with that.
Yep, that's a good fish. And I've got a theory, Steve, about bream. I reckon they're a little bit like dogs. They've got a pack mentality. There'll be 2 or 3 of them in there together. And if you watch 2 dogs running down the street, if one of them crosses the road, the other one will follow him. 3 casts in the same snag, mate. 3 bream.
Isn't that amazing? You can catch bream on lures and it's great fun. I just cradle him, just like that. He'll feel the water. He'll go, there you go. You'll know when it's time to go. Now, mate, if anyone's responsible for the boom in lure fishing for bream, it's got to be you with the bream tournaments and I'm on! Yeah, get away. Oh, mate, I'm in there, I'm in there. He's out, he's out, he's out.
That's right. Just
5 casts in the
lean around
snag.
towards me, Steve.
4 fish.
That's it. You got him now.
Mate, the bream tournaments have just been such a success. What do you reckon the one thing people love the tournaments for is?
I would say, Steve,
He's all right, he's under control.
that probably the main reason is that most of the people who started fishing the tournaments this year had never caught a bream on a lure before. And the amount you learn in an hour fishing with someone like Jeff Spadassini or someone like that, you can gin around for 2 years on your own, or you can go in a bream tournament.
Well, that's a great thing because the guys in these tournaments and the girls, they actually share information with each other. So at the end of the day, you'll all get together, what lure caught, what lure didn't catch, and which lure this year worked better than anything else.
Probably soft plastics, the Charlie Brewer slider grubs probably caught more fish. But, you know, probably Laser Pro 45s, the Scorpion 52s were very good.
And gold you found were really a winner.
Gold was definitely the best colour.
Now, this year there were some great moments. What do you reckon was the most exciting thing you saw personally for the year?
Well, I'd say, Steve, my mate Mitch Yellen, we were pre-fishing for the Warpole event and we're out the back of the Franklin River, beautiful spot. And we're throwing some lures around and he hooked a bream on a soft plastic. He was bringing it up to the boat. We got it right next to the boat and then it was about 3 bream behind it. One of the bream came from behind it, grabbed the lure out of the other bream's mouth, hooked itself and took off the other way. And I don't know what was more stunned, the other bream or us.
Did you land the second one?
We did.
2 fish for 1. Look at that. Same snag, we're not lying. 4 fish, 5 casts. This is the Murray River.